We outplayed you guys in the third, so we should have won that game.
Brad the Rat Marchand is better than Sidney Crosby. Low-quality fans of a high-quality Bruins team, welcome back for another epi, and that's a dub! Had to work extra hard for it, again, but we got the dub, and that's all that matters. Once again, no Grizz. But that's okay, because Cliffy really hasn't looked lost, so I'm in for it. This game was weird from start to finish. It had a really weird flow to it. There was times where both teams looked really good, and there's times where both teams looked just downright bottom dweller bad. When the game started, I was feeling super confident. Bruins are very good against the Pens. This division, I will say, is still probably the toughest division, but there's a lot of weird stuff going on. The Rangers look terrible. The Devils look decent. The Sabres look terrible, but with some spark. And no one looks consistent yet. It's just a really, really weird start, but it's happening across the league. So anyway, game starts. First 5 minutes, both teams, couple scoring chances, but they're playing really fluid, beautiful hockey. Really interesting to watch because it's so much skill on the ice and so many layers defensively for both sides. So it really shut down most options, except for ones directly in the slot. But nothing came of it, at least in the beginning of the game. Hey, you know how I said Marshy wasn't 100%, and then he scores a couple of goals and just throws it back in my face? And then immediately in this game, he shows he's not 100%. Clifton takes a completely unnecessary cross-checking penalty. That is going to be a huge theme in this game. There were so many stupid penalties. Like, a lot of these penalties weren't even for a good reason. Back to the point. Cliffy takes a terrible penalty, and I just said, hey, Marshy doesn't look like he's 100% still. He had a great scoring chance and just lost the puck. He just doesn't seem to have the same hands that you're used to seeing him with. But then what happens? We're on the penalty kill. And man, do we hate 5-on-5 goals. But boy, can we bang on the penalty kill. Strong pass up the ice by the Pens. Tanev can't hold on to the puck. McAvoy recognizes this, steps up, grabs the puck, throws it to Marshy. He skates up the right side. 1v1 versus Letang. Hey, do you know how that's usually going to go? A little style from Marshy, cuts inside, and then goes some top shelf. This is just such a fun way to start a game. Marshy gets a shorty. Beautiful hands right after I said he didn't have them. That is what I love about this game, is every time I say something, someone hits me in the face. So we're midway through the first, and we're up a goal, and I'm pumped. But I'm also thinking, oh, a shorty, what does that usually mean? Are we going to have one of those games where we're not going to score 5-on-5, and then we're going to edge towards the end of regulation with a 1-goal lead, maybe give it up, and then we go to overtime? No way, right? Right? And then some interesting stuff happens because we have great layers and we're shutting it down, and it's what you want to see from your team. It's some great defensive play. They're not getting chances, and whenever they do get chances, Rask is a god. But we are going to have breakdowns such as Malkin coming screaming down, actually beats the right side, shoots it top corner, and Rask just goes, yeah. I wish Boston fans appreciated me. I hope no one asked me about all the bodies buried under my house. He looks like a serial killer. He is an elite goaltender, and he saved our ass in this game. Which is why you'd think that all of the Bruins players, immediately, when Gensel just right into him, of his own volition, by the way, you'd think every Bruins player would. But no. It's actually just Nick Ritchie. I don't have a nickname for him yet. I can't place it. If anyone's got a good nickname for him, there's something that we could really go by. Not like the Bus or something. It's nothing overused. I'm trying to find something unique for this guy. I just don't got it. I don't got it yet. I went into the season calling him Nick the Bitch Ritchie, but that doesn't seem fair at this moment. Gensel plows into Rask, and the first guy, albeit another 6 or 7 seconds later, comes in is Ritchie. And Ritchie doesn't get to really rough him up, but he does get in his face. And I need to see a player do that anytime Rask gets plowed into. It's about the camaraderie of the team. It matters. And I need people to protect our goalie, no matter who's in net. Just gonna check off another good thing about Nick Ritchie, I guess. Man, I've been really sucking his... And then, Wags gets a little excited and takes a blatant interference penalty. By the way, some of these calls might have been a little weak. Some of them absolutely weren't. All of these calls were correct. All 6 penalties, yes, 6, were correct. I'm mad at my team about it, not at the refs. Gensel should have been called for plowing into Rask, though. Penalty kill still looks great, though. They're on fire. I don't know if this is a mixture of a terrible Pens power play or a really great PK by the Bruins, but man, one looked great and one looked terrible. Done with the first 1-0 Bruins. I would be remiss not to mention that DeBrusk went down with an injury. I think it was on his 5th shift. It's a lower body injury. He did not return to the game, and he is not going to play on Thursday. So big rip to my boy DeBrusk. I feel a little bit to blame for this. I tweeted out before the game that I needed a DeBrusk goal. I think he put too much pressure on himself. So, my bad. But we come out for the second, and Rask is looking sexy. Oh my god. Oh, by the way, Frederick on the third line also looks amazing. Gotta say his name at least once an episode, right? I started to realize something. That this team might actually be tougher than we thought. We didn't think we would have anyone to bang bodies in the beginning of the season. But Ritchie does that. Miller does that. Frederick does that. All of the other guys are showing signs of that. Yeah, not everyone's dropping the gloves and not everyone's slamming people around. But you really notice it throughout these games that we are playing bigger than we are. And I think that's going to be huge if we can maintain it through the entire season and more so the playoffs. That is the type of style you need when you need to grind down an opponent for 7 games. And then I realized something else. Bergie takes a hooking penalty. And yes, it was hooking. He got him in the gloves. Like, it was soft. I get it, but it was hooking. I was wrong about why all these penalties are happening. It's not out of frustration. It's because Bruce Cassidy is screaming urgency into every fiber of these guys' beings. Did I say that right? The point is, everyone feels so urgent that they're trying too hard. I don't mind that. Yes, I need us to clean some of this up. 6 penalties, 12 penalty killing minutes, brutal. But the reason they're taking them is because they're trying to do too much. They want these games. Can you imagine rooting for a team that didn't want to win? We kill the penalty again, and we actually have another scoring chance again. And at this point, we have more expected goals on the penalty kill than they do on their power play, which is hilarious. Freddie does his usual antagonization bullshit, which we love. Another penalty drawn. There's a nice little play by Marshy, deking around a couple guys. Tanev reaches in too far. Another soft call, but yes, a textbook trip, and it's a 5-on-3. This is where you get kind of nervous with a 1-goal lead. You think you can score in a 5-on-3 because every team should be able to. If they kill a 5-on-3, momentum shifts so hard. So I am going into a 5-on-3 power play for my team nervous. This is the type of fan I am. And for a bit, it actually looks like they're going to kill it. But of course, if Frederick draws a penalty, Nick Ritchie is going to lick his lips while staring directly at the ref. Because he knows that Frederick draws a penalty, and then he parks his giant ass in front of the net, and then someone eventually gets the puck to him, which is exactly what Marshy did. Threw it over, finally space opened up, Ritchie buries it, and gets another goal on the season. He is blowing expectations out of the water. To recap, 3-step program. Freddie pisses someone off. Freddie draws a penalty, Ritchie scores. Got it? Do you got it? Another penalty. This is where I really started to get frustrated. I think this is our third or fourth at this point in the game, just crushing me because we have momentum. It's 2-0. We can't stay out of the box. And then Miller with another shorty chance, but it rings off the bar. But I'm sure it's going to be fine. We kill the penalty again. And then Zaboral penalty. Yay! But this one's a bit easier to kill because Wagner's amazing. And he steals the puck, and he goes for a breakaway and draws enough contact from Letang. Penalty called. We'll end the period like that. Up 2-0, 4-on-4. The third's a little weird. We start the third, we have that power play time, nothing really happens. A lot of time goes by with not a lot happening. You didn't see a big push from the Pens, but you did see Boston starting to kind of slow down a little bit. That is not how you win a hockey game. And then Richie takes another penalty. Do we hate Richie yet? No. Life is too good. Life was too good for us here. We were having too much fun. Their power play couldn't seem to get anything started. We were just buzzing around. And then during their power play, Rask goes down to make a save, but then he can't seem to get up. There wasn't contact. We weren't sure what happens. He is missing next game as well due to some sort of injury. He can't get up. Zucker takes a shot. He tries to get it with the glove. He doesn't even get close. And that's a goal, and it's an easy goal for the Pens, but it sucks the life out of the team. Even weirder, he stayed in the game. He waved off anyone trying to call him out, and he was like, I'm good. I love the heart. But when it comes to goalies, especially our elite goaltender, I want you healthy, bro. This is game 6. We're okay. Okay? Do the right thing. But he stays in the game, so I'm going to give him credit for being tough. And then we look exhausted, and it gets worse. And they have all this pressure. And I'm so worried because Rask doesn't look right. And then Kapanen with a breakaway. And then Rask, big save, of course, because that's what he does. But that's not the last of Kapanen. 3.5 minutes left of the game. Kapanen literally skates around McAvoy. Alone in on Rask. Rask didn't have the movement. Just buries the puck. Nice little move. Nice little shot. Good for him. So you're telling me the one game that wasn't tied during the Ford F-150 Final 5 is the one game directly after the video I made about the Ford F-150 Final 5 theory. I'm on to you, Ford. Don't you fuck with Loqual. Because he knows. Oh, he knows. Oh, baby, he knows. Personally, I blame the 6 penalties for overtime. It shouldn't have happened. We let up a 2-goal lead in the third. I can't stand that kind of shit. No one can. But off to overtime we go, and it is a bullet fest. Everyone's flying around the ice. There's chances left and right. And then the game's over. And the game's over because the Penguins have a 3-on-0. 3 players. 3! Get in on Rask alone. 3! All 3 of them. Alone. With Rask. And then they can't stop passing the puck. And Rask just goes... He just pokes the puck away from them and they're all dumbfounded like, how did we fuck that up? But going the other way, it's a 2-on-0 the other way. And it's Smith and Krejci. I mean, they just execute to perfection. Smith pass to Krejci, Krejci back to Smith, Smith shoots, it's a goal. That's how you do that. And it's a W. But what? Game notes. DeBrusque with the injury, huge bummer. I just want him to get right in his head. This has a really bad potential to spiral for him now. Was not performing, gets injured. We've seen it happen to young players, and we've seen it take a long time to get back to form. Really fingers crossed and hoping the best for the boy. You may have noticed I really didn't mention Bjork or Studnicka at all. That's because they're invisible. They're barely noticeable when they're on the ice. And that's such a disappointment, because both of them I had kind of high hopes for coming into the season. Bjork is absolutely the guy that's getting shunted out as soon as we have a healthy roster. And I think Studnicka is going to be the other one, because Kasha and Pasta will be back. Sorry, guys. You have to do something. This isn't a league where you can simply not be the problem. One last thing, and this is a thing I don't yet understand, because I have not done the research I think it requires. Trent Frederick had the least amount of ice time out of any skater in that game. other than DeBrusque, who was injured 3.5 minutes into his ice time. I don't understand that. This guy is electric, and I think it has something to do with the massive amount of penalty kills, but I really need to figure this out. All right, guys, that does it for me. Thanks so much for watching another episode. Do the thing with the stuff down below. Go Bees!